Assalamualaikum everyone. Eid Mubarak. I hope you all had a good and peaceful couple of days that we had off. And for everyone who couldn't spend Eid with their families these days, I pray that they all find the strength to bear. And today we have Kylie with us. She's an entrepreneur, a digital marketer, and a swimmer. So let's introduce Kylie. Hi there.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Great. Just woke up.
Great.
It's 7 a.m. here, so it's bright and early.
Oh, so are you? Would we say that you're a morning person?
I am. I do a morning sunrise walk on the beach. So that was at 6:20, I think. So I've been up and at 'em. So I'm a morning person. I usually go to bed at like 8 p.m. and everyone calls me a grandma. So
Wow, that's inspiring. So do you want to go and tell a bit more about yourself to everyone who's watching?
yeah, so I am a social media marketing consultant to small and medium businesses and also entrepreneurs. So how I got started in my journey was actually 9 years ago. I swam Division I in school. I guess I should say university to clarify. And I was on training trips. So imagine, you're training all the time. It's over Christmas break. We don't get to we get to celebrate Christmas, but after Christmas, we're off to the races and we're literally training 24/7. And one of my friends on the break introduced me to a website called Pinterest, which, are you familiar with Pinterest?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
looking at recipes all the time on Pinterest.
Okay. So exactly. She was like, you need to join Pinterest. You need to get on Pinterest. There's recipes, wedding dresses, all the good things. And I'm like, you know what? I don't need Pinterest. I'm already double majoring in business and apparel merchandising. I'm swimming full time. I didn't even have the time to finish my homework, let alone start a social media channel because I was already on Facebook. I was on Twitter. I think that was like the Vine era back then. I don't know. This is pre-Instagram. So that's how long ago this was. And, a nudge in here, nudge in there. I joined Pinterest and I was immediately addicted because remember, I was studying business and apparel merchandising, which is the fashion side of business. So I was always into fashion. What's the next look? I've always had an eye for it. Not right now, obviously, but I just love fashion. So what I used Pinterest for was to start pinning outfits. And at that time, no one was doing that. It was recipes. It was, wedding dresses. It was, the engagement rings, travel destinations. People were pinning clothes, but it was the white background you would see as you were shopping on a retailer's website. So I started pinning outfits onto Pinterest. And because I was new, and like anything else, when you're the first to do something, your profile grows pretty fast, pretty quickly. So that's what happened to me. My profile started increasing, and I realized after a while that every pin on Pinterest is a clickable link. So what that means is it's quite literally a free Facebook ad that lasts forever. If you're unfamiliar with Pinterest and you're trying to wrap your head around of what I'm saying, it's a picture that's embedded with a link. So I realized that as I was pinning these items, I was sending free traffic to other people's websites. And I've always been a curious person. I always say that what I learned now, I learned through Google University. So I would Google literally anything under the sun. And what I was always interested in was how people made money online. That seemed so out of reach to me. 9 years ago, you had to have somebody code your own website back then for $20,000 in order to even have your own website. So for me, making money online seemed untouchable. And I'm sure a couple people watching can relate to that. Until you make your first dollar online, it seems quite impossible. So I Googled, how do bloggers make money? Because I was genuinely curious. I saw I had all this traffic and I'm like, where can I direct this to actually monetize this? And I went to Google, typed it in. There's a lot of different options, obviously, that people can monetize online. And one of them was affiliate marketing, which is pay per click and per purchase. And it worked really well with fashion because there's a lot of affiliate marketing lifestyle websites, which are fashion, home, beauty, decor, you name it. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to sign up. I'm a college student anyway. I didn't really have anything to lose, right? I was already broke, whatever, your typical broke college student. So I signed up for the third-party affiliate marketing website, and I was already pinning 100 pins a day. That's how obsessed I was with Pinterest. It's kind of like Twitter. It doesn't take a while to repin or pin, but when you do it, it lasts forever because Pinterest is a search engine. So back then I didn't know that at the time. So I pinned one of the links or pinned one of the outfits with an affiliate link. And I was like, whatever, we'll see what happens. So I go to bed, I wake up, and I make 50 cents on my first pin. And I am jumping up and down on my bed. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I just made 50 cents while I was sleeping. And a lot of times when I tell this story, I know people are probably like, well, 50 cents, cool, you can buy a cookie with that, right? But what I realized was I only did that with one pin, and I was doing it 100 times a day. So if you just do the multiplication and you do the compounding of that, because Pinterest is a search engine, people can find my pins whether or not they were following me. And at the time, I only had 15 or 20,000 followers on Pinterest. Now I have 103,000 followers on Pinterest, but those pins last forever, unlike Instagram and Facebook. So that's kind of how my journey got started. I monetized my Pinterest, use it to make a full-time income. Then I had people asking me, Instagram came around, started growing my following on Instagram. People would ask me, how do you take pictures? How do you monetize your following? How do you make money online? All of those how-to, and I was getting it to the point where I was like answering everybody's question, and I was like not getting annoyed at them, but I'm like, why am I answering the same question 24/7? Why don't I just, create a course? So then that started my Pinterest marketing course. But then I realized the bigger issue was businesses don't understand the power of social media. So my passion now is teaching small, medium businesses how to leverage social media to monetize it as an extra channel for their business. And we're seeing, the impact now more than ever with the pandemic that we're currently in, the importance of social media and the importance of having your business online, because when your doors close shop, how are you going to sell? You can sell on social media, but only if you know how to. So that's what I help businesses do, CEOs, even entrepreneurs through my digital courses, how to monetize your following online. And more importantly, how to grow a brand legacy that lasts. So that's my passion. And that's how I kind of got started. It's a long-winded story, but it doesn't really make sense unless I tell the whole thing.
No, definitely. It's inspiring. And it's also kind of answering one of the questions that we had for you, which was what made you choose Pinterest for post-profit Pinterest system? So I guess whatever you said covers that.
Yeah. So how I chose Pinterest was I always say I didn't choose Pinterest. Pinterest chose me. And then I kind of just followed my passions about growing Pinterest on the platform with what I was passionate about. I've always been a big believer that I don't do stuff for the money. I didn't start Pinterest because I was like, I could make X amount. I didn't start Instagram because I was like, I could potentially be an influencer. That's not my mindset. My mindset is how can I provide value to those that need what I have to offer? And then when I come from that mindset, money always is attracted to me because I'm not doing things with ill intentions. And another thing too, if you're watching and you can kind of relate to this, is if you start something because of the money, you're always going to burn out. Because there has to be a goal that you're trying to accomplish. If your goal is to make more money, yes, more money is going to come when you help other people. So it's stop focusing on the money side of it and start focusing on, the value that you have. What's your experience? What's your story? How can you share your story? And how can you inspire other people? And another tip for that is, when people start asking you, how do you do something? How do you swim so fast? How do you find, this morning I was finding shark teeth on the beach and people always ask me, how do you find all these shark teeth on the beach? I actually have some in my pocket and I actually have some in my pocket right now and I'm going to show you guys. So this is one that I found this morning. Can you see it?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So people are like, how do you find shark teeth on the beach? And I know that that's kind of like irrelevant to this topic, but when you have people asking you, how do you do something? How are you so good at selling? How are you so good at doing your makeup? Leverage that. That might be what you're like and sometimes, it's not what you want, it's what they want. That's another lesson that I learned is because I was so passionate about Pinterest, I pushed Pinterest hard, but the majority of the people still didn't, they loved Instagram. They didn't want to learn Pinterest. And that blew my mind where it was like, oh my gosh, I'm selling a product I have almost 100 students in my Pinterest marketing course. So I have people in there that find the value and they've taken the course and they loved it. But there was so much friction in the beginning when I started selling, because I was like, this is what I wanted to create and I was pushing it onto them. But then I realized with selling, it's you create what they want, and then that's how selling works. So it's always a learning process for me too. And that's why I said I'm an open book, ask me anything. And I'm an expert to the level that I'm at, but I'm not claiming to be, know it all. So
No, but that's good.
I love questions.
Awesome. So what are some of the challenges that you faced when reaching the stage you're at today? Because obviously it's not easy and people do struggle with consistency. So what challenges did you face?
Yeah, I have a couple challenges. So when I was a full-time influencer, my biggest challenge was that I was making money, but I didn't have a purpose with it. When people would ask me what I would do, I would be like, pin images. Like, it just like, that wasn't filling my potential. I knew my potential was up here. And I was like, even though I was making money, money doesn't define success. Happiness defines success. So even though I was up here, or my potential was up here, and I wasn't even like tapping into it, I was just kind of coasting because I was making money. And I was like, okay, this isn't making me happy. But what I saw was when people would ask me for help, I loved helping them. And I even loved it more when they saw a result with what I was teaching. So when I started getting one-off clients here and there, I wish back then I went all in when I first felt that happiness, but I was kind of, doubtful of it. I was like, is this just like a instant gratification thing, like a high? Like, I didn't trust myself enough. So a challenge in the beginning is that you're not going to trust yourself, and you have to. If it's something you love, if it's something you want to do, if you want to potentially make it a full-time income, and you don't see the path clearly in the beginning, go for it. Trust yourself. Another challenge that I had too, and we see this all the time online, is the scam artists. There's people left and right telling you conflicting, things to do. You got to do this, and I'm the best, so listen to me. And advice that I have for that is look for results. Look for results. And if you can't find them, one, that's a red flag. And two, go ask the people personally, at least 3 people, DM them what their experience was with the person you're looking to hire. So I hear that all the time, where people are like, this expert said this guru said that, who do I listen to? Right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, is there even anything under the cover of the book of what they're saying? Or they just copy and paste it off of Google, right? So the reason why I'm so passionate about doing live streams, and over on my YouTube channel, if you just search Kylie Francis, I have hundreds of live streams that I've done inside of my private Facebook group that showcase my expertise. And I say, this is from my experience. I'm not saying it's the only way. I'm not coming on here to tell you Pinterest is the only way and that's how you start your digital marketing career, because that's simply not true. That's what I did 9 years ago, right? But it's still very valuable for business. And I'm a big believer that it's still very much untapped. So I will shed light on that perspective. But when it comes to learning online, you have more power than you think you do when it comes to looking at the testimonials and not believing everything you read, and going out and asking the people in person what their experience was. Because when you do that, you're taking control of your own destiny. Because the problem is if you just go off of whatever, this expert said to do this, my friend said this person said to do that, you're going to be left confused. And I'm talking about this a lot because I hear it a lot. So struggles I face, I think it would be, listening to people with experience, do that. Also trust yourself more. And, that like gut feeling, follow that, because, if you're just going to go for like the gimmick marketing or get rich quick, it's going to feel good at first and it's going to work for a month or two, but you're not attracting the people you actually want to be surrounded by. Right. Because when you do all these, like, follow trains, pods, click in all the friend requests or whatever, yes, you're growing the vanity metrics, but you're growing followers and not a following.
Hmm.
And the difference between that is you're going out and clicking any random profile and they're not attracted to you through your content, which is value-based content. So
Yeah.
I teach and you can probably see this on LinkedIn and in my Facebook group, on my Instagram, it's attraction marketing. So you create content that's valuable. Your ideal client needs that help, so they're attracted to you for it. And that's how organically generation happens.
Yeah. So we've got a question for you. Do you have clients from developing nations related to digital marketing?
I am in the works, but not currently. And I think it has nothing to do with money. And I
Okay.
think it's largely to do with, I think a lot of people, especially as my LinkedIn has been booming
Mm-hmm.
and I have a lot of, clients from developing nations reaching out to me and I've been in talks with them. But the problem is just the situation we're currently in makes it
Yeah.
difficult. And like I said, I'm the type of person where I try to create a win-win situation for both parties. Money is not my, main issue or driving purpose. It's,
Mm-hmm.
can we figure out something that works for both parties? So, not currently, but there's no reason. It's just kind of like the climate that we're in is the main
Yeah.
reason why. And a lot of the clients that I'm in talks with that are going to be clients
Hmm.
are, kind of halted because of, like I said, the climate we're currently in.
Yeah.
So, my main mission right now is just to be a person of extreme value. And when the client is ready, they will
Yeah.
know and they will come to me and I will save top of mind through my content online.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So we've
Mm-hmm.
got another question for you. Which social media automation tool do you recommend for freelance marketing?
So I don't use social media automation tools. And the reason why I don't is because I'm a big believer that if you're starting to grow on social media, you need to be networking with people online. So
Mm-hmm.
what a lot of people do, and I'm not saying that this is this person, I'm just saying the majority of the time, because I see this, I've been doing this for 9 years, is that
Mm-hmm.
people will start on social media and they'll automate all of this, I hate to say it's like C plus content, but it's not great content because they're just uploading content onto social media just to do like the social media check off the list. So it's like, okay, post it on Facebook, check. I'm going to automate that for 3 months so I don't have to touch it ever again. Problem
Mm-hmm.
is, you just became a robot. So if your client reaches out to you or comments underneath your post and you're not there to answer it, they're
Yeah.
not going to want to comment on your post because it requires a lot of vulnerability to, reach out and comment or ask a
Comment.
question on somebody's
Definitely.
post. And if you're not there to reply to every single comment on your post, you're kind of just shooting yourself in the foot because you could be pushing out great content. But if you're
Hmm.
not there networking every single day with the people that are, interacting with your posts, like I said, you're shooting yourself in the foot. So social media automation tools, I don't use them. I'm not against them. I don't personally use them. And like I said, the reason why I don't use them is because I don't want my vulnerability to be, okay, I said it and forget it. Therefore, I'm going to forget even logging onto the platform that day.
Yeah.
Therefore, I'm not going to show up. Therefore, like if you're in digital marketing or if you're in social media,
Mhm.
like I always say 20% of your like showing up is posting content, right?
Yeah.
Where a lot of people think that's 100%. A lot of people think, okay, I just need to post today and I'm going to run faster than Forrest Gump away from the platform, which isn't true. You need to be actively building the relationships.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
showing up and creating that consistent, I'm going to show up and then I'm going to
Mm.
wait and see if people have questions for me. When
Yeah.
create that mindset, you're going to get more clients because you're there for people, right? So that's another big, I know that was a long and drawn out answer, but that's an easy way to stand out on social media is care for people because there's so many people that reach a certain follower count on social media and they're like, okay, I no longer have to answer to like the peasants that comment on my posts. And we see it all the time with celebrities. Like
Yeah.
we see them posting and they don't reply to anybody. And it's because they think they're above people. And
Hmm.
I say that all the time on LinkedIn and people are like, wow, how do you respond to every comment? And I'm like, because I actually care. Like
Yeah.
Shocking, right? So automation tools, you can use them. I
Yeah.
don't. So like I said, I'm not saying they're good or bad. I just don't personally use them. So I can't recommend anything for you. So
But just
I'm
to
sorry.
create a lasting relationship with your followers, it's better to actually not use automation tools and just actually be there physically and emotionally for your followers.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the bigger macro picture of this is everybody wants engagement, right? But
Yeah.
the problem is when people start following them and people start commenting on their posts, they're not even responding to the one comment that they get. That is engagement, right?
Hmm.
So if you have people commenting on your posts, you need to be responding to every single comment, everyone. And I know the majority of people watching probably get, even if you get one, respond. Just be like, thank you
Yeah.
so much for, taking time. And this is
Yeah.
another thing that I want to say is if somebody takes the time out of their day to comment on your post to give you more engagement or they're interested in your business, the least you can do is take time out of your day, turn off Netflix, and reply to somebody that could potentially be a client for you. So I'm so passionate about switching the mindset of social media off of vanity metrics and more onto caring about developing relationships and networking and providing so much value so people are attracted to your content. Because right now, and I know Instagram started this trend, is the fake it till you make it. I'm just going to write, this D+ level post just to post on Instagram, just to check it off my list. I'm not going to reply to anybody, but I also want $1 million business. And that's not how it works. You have to spend time developing those relationships and networking. That's 80% of how your business is built on social media. 20% is your content, which is funny because we see the content. So we think that that's the big, what we should be focusing on more, which it is, but the relationships with people behind the screens and networking with them is how you get on the sales call, is how you develop a new customer. It's how people, spread word of mouth about your business, and it's how you get referrals. And one thing I'm proud of is that a lot of the followers that I get a lot of them are referral based. And there's nothing better than a referral because that trust is already built. So yeah, I always go on tangents, so I don't even know.
Oh, it's fine. But a question related to referrals is, what if people download the pictures that you upload on Pinterest without visiting your website? Does it help you financially?
Why? Okay, so this is how you, I was trying to figure out how I wanted to respond to this. So when you have a picture that you create on Pinterest, you must brand the picture. So what I mean by that is you need to put your @username. So mine's @Kylie_Francis. And you'll see that when you find my quotes on Google, on Instagram, on Pinterest, I don't just type up this quote that I thought off the top of my head and, let it be off onto the interwebs, right? Because remember, when you're uploading onto Pinterest, that result shows up on Google because Pinterest is a search engine. So this is very powerful for your business because someone can find your content when they are on Google. They probably don't even have a Pinterest account and they're still going to see your content. So this is a great question, and a way to go about that is start, like I said, branding your pictures. Now, you don't have to make it this @Salman Ayez, like this massive, you have your name blasted all over the background of the image. Just and I wish I had, could show you a picture of my quotes, but if you just Google Kylie Francis quotes, you'll see my quotes. But you see it all the time when people make quotes or if they, slap their company logo on the picture. I don't recommend company logos. I recommend you guys putting your social media links because at the very least, if someone, screenshots or, rips off your picture, they're going to have your username on there. So I had that happen to me all the time where people would, and some of it's intentional, a lot of the times it's unintentional. So what people will do is they want to share the content or they want to recreate my quote post. Let's just say they're trying to be on brand on their Instagram page and they want to, keep the same font. That's awesome. But they want to use my quote. They would never know about my Instagram username if they found it off of Google and not Instagram if I didn't put my or at Kylie_Francis. Does that make sense? So if you're using Pinterest and you're creating original content, this goes for all social media channels. You want to brand yourself. And I recommend branding yourself with your at username. Hopefully it's the same across all social media channels, but if it isn't, you know, you can do the company logo, but if you're going to do your company logo, make sure you write, you know, your name next to it or whatever have you, because it does happen. And unfortunately, I think, you know, there's no way to go around it, and it shouldn't stop you from creating amazing content. Just, you know, embrace that it'll happen, and you can prepare for it by adding your at username.
Awesome. Thank you. So another question for you is less more? Should we not be pushing media during this sensitive time?
Less is not more, because your brand grows on social media. Okay, so attention wins on social media. So what that means is that if people cannot search for you, they will not be able to find you. Okay. So if anything during this time, people need help. People want to grow their business. People want to be educated. People need your product or your service. It is absolutely not being insensitive. I have this barometer where it's like, you know, if what you're pushing out is insensitive, right? You just like, and so like what I'm saying with this is if it's business related, you don't have to sell, nor should you sell with every single post. So I have the 4 types of content, which is education, connection, inspiration, and sales content. So the majority of your content isn't even selling. It's educating people about your business. And the best way to do this is I have this rule where it's value answers a question. Answer a frequently asked question about your business. You should be posting every single day, and you can be sensitive about it. But just always remember that somebody is needing what you have to offer, right? I mean, look at me right now, right? Like, I'm on this live stream. Am I selling anything? Absolutely not. You guys are asking me questions because you need me. You need, and I'm not saying like you're going to take my answer and run with it, but you value what I'm saying, right? And that's why you're showing up on this live stream. You need my value. And you can do this exact same thing. You can interview people, you can host live streams, and you can just give value. So when you do that, you're not only positioning yourself as an expert in your business, and, you know, if you're a solo entrepreneur, what have you, but people are going to start looking up to you because, like I said, now more than ever, people need you. They need what you have to offer. They need your support, and they need your value. So I would say is less more. Do less selling, like sell through your content, and do more giving. Give people help, because when you do that, people are going to buy it anyway. That's like that's like the funniest thing about all this. The more you give, the more you get. Have you heard that before? So focus on being a person of value, and people are going to show up. They're going to ask you questions. And then when they ask you the questions, like I said earlier in this live stream, make sure you're there for them and answer every comment that you get. Make sure you're, you know, offering free help, because I can tell you right now, if you go out of your way to help other people, they will come back and they will want to pay you when they can. So is less more, do less selling, do more value-based content, and show up every single day with it. Don't retreat, be proactive about it, because those people need your help more than ever right now.
Yeah. So, I mean, one question that I've just picked up from this whole conversation is sometimes when you're creating engaging content, maybe you're not getting as much views or following based on it. So it could often lead to discouragement or less consistency. So how would we deal with that?
So in the beginning, when people use social media, they focus way too much on the wrong things. It's all, I call it ego-based, and we don't even know that it is, right? Because trust me, I was there too. I feel like I speak from my experience. So people call me a mind reader, and I'm like, yeah, because I've been there, right? it's very much ego based. So remember, when we show up on social media, our social media platforms are for our ideal clients. We're the face, we deliver the information, but the information we deliver is for them. It's not for us, right? So if you're starting on social media, or if you've been doing it for a couple of years and you're not seeing views, you're not seeing, any results, a little sliver of it could be, yes, you're quite in front, like probably doing something wrong, but a large majority of the time, we're focusing on the vanity metrics, right? So you could have the best piece of content, but you're just starting out on social media. You're not going to get a lot of engagement or views. But what does that mean? That means you need to take that link. You need to go share it around to all of your channels. You need to actively tell people in your video. So if I'm on this video right now and I was doing something, I'll be like, if you're on YouTube, click subscribe right here with this button. If you're, watching the replay, let me know in the comments with #replay. Give me a like if you found any value in this video. We're actively telling people to engage with our content because people forget. Sometimes I forget. I'm scrolling down the newsfeed so fast. I quite frankly forget to like or comment. And it's not because I don't want to. It's just, I'm on to the next thing. So if you're creating a video, if you're creating a piece of content, always remember to add a call to action. You can do this at the end of every single post, written, audio, if you're on podcast, or on a video. And at the end, you just simply tell people what action you'd like them to take. So if you're doing a written post, at the end, you can be like, drop an emoji if this resonates with you. Or you can be like, what do you think about this? Let me know in the comments. Or you can be like, send me a DM if you want to schedule a call or a free like strategy session or something like that. Be creative with it. Like you can do anything, but I think if you're struggling with engagement in the beginning, know that it's probably because it takes time for people to engage with your content. So if you encourage them to engage, they won't have so much vulnerability around it. They won't be so vulnerable, or what do I want to say? I don't even know what I'm saying now.
Vulnerable is fine, maybe.
They'll warm up and they want to talk to you because asking a question is intimidating. It really is. I know there's probably people watching now and they're intimidating to ask the question, and that's totally fine. But know that it is intimidating. So if you're just starting out, if you're not getting a lot of engagement, there's 2 ways to go about it. 1, tell people to engage. And 2, share your content around on the internet. Go to Reddit, go to Quora, go to Medium, and go to articles where you're talking about something that's related to that topic. Because if you just kind of show up, especially on Instagram or Facebook in 2020, and you are only posting there for your business and you're not using advertising, I can tell you right now, you're probably never going to get engagement. It's impossible because those platforms want you to pay to play for advertising. So the ones that I recommend now are TikTok, LinkedIn, obviously Pinterest, any search engine social media channel. So Pinterest, YouTube, podcasting, and blogging, because like I said, all of those are linked to the Google search engine and your content lasts forever. So time sensitive, LinkedIn and TikTok, search engine channels, Pinterest, YouTube, podcasting, and blogging. So those are my recommendations. If you're just starting out, if you're watching this video and you're inspired and you're like, ready to go, those are the platforms that I recommend.
Awesome. So someone's asking, what, from your experience, are the most important steps to be highlighted to your relevant audience through your post? So from your experience, what's important to highlight to your audience?
Since they're not and you're not. Oh, so are you asking what types of content I should be posting?
Yeah, I guess it also means that maybe the kind of experience you have, it could be work experience, or maybe it's sort of voluntary experience. So what sells means that's
okay.
I think that's what it means, yeah.
So when you're creating content for social media, like I said, I teach CEOs, businesses, and entrepreneurs. So suppose I'm going to answer this question in the context that somebody is trying to sell something, right? So, and I'm just going to go, I'm still confused about the question, but I'm kind of understanding the fact that what I think he's trying to say is, what types of content do I create to attract those ideal clients?
I think so, yeah.
Is that accurate?
I think so.
What are
I
the
mean,
important
Salman,
steps to be
you can go
highlighted?
ahead and maybe
Okay. I don't know
continue
why
anything else.
I'm not really understanding the question, but I'll just go off of that.
Yeah,
So when you're creating content for your business, like I had said earlier in this live stream, you do not want to sell with every single post, because the
yeah,
problem with that is when people they create their amazing website, product, and service, and what they do is when they first start on social media, they're like,
mhm,
buy my product, buy my product, buy my product, right? And the problem with that is no one knows who you are, what you do, what your product does, all of these things, right? So what I said earlier in this live stream is you want to focus on creating value-based content. What is
yeah,
value? Value answers a question, one
mm,
question, how did you get started? Where, what inspired you to start your business? All these questions that I'm getting on this live stream are great questions that can be added to an FAQ, and I could do a separate live stream or a post on all of these questions because they're all
yeah,
amazing
definitely.
questions, right? So I follow my 4 types of content. What are the 4 types of content? Educational content, which is teaching content. So that is value, right? You're teaching somebody, how does your product work? How does your business work with getting clients? How do you work with clients? All of these things that, how does your service work? How does Pinterest work? How does Instagram
Mhm,
marketing work for hair salons? Like anything related to your niche is
yeah,
a frequently asked question. So that's value. So
mm,
educational content is teaching content, and that answers a question.
mhm,
Connection content, which is the second type of content, is me too type of content. So if I'm creating content, people don't want to just know about my business, they want
yeah,
to know about me as well. And
mm.
even if they don't want to know about me, I'm still going to tell them, right? Because
Yeah,
people, I'm just kidding. But people buy off of emotion and they justify with logic. I'll say that again. People
yeah,
buy with emotion and they justify with logic.
would love to.
So what
Okay.
that means is people are connected to you through the commonalities that you share with them. So for
Mm,
example, I get clients left and right because I tell people that I'm a swimmer. What does that show? That I was a student athlete, that I swam in college. Maybe we went to the same college. Maybe, they were an NCAA, Division 1 athlete. Doesn't even have to be a swimmer, right? Maybe,
yeah,
they can relate to the same struggles that I went through when I share that with the story. Now, another thing too is when you start telling people what you, or like who you are through Me Too type of content, like Kylie does CrossFit, me too. Kylie
mm,
lives in Florida, me too. Kylie owns a digital marketing agency, me too. When you start telling people about your story, tie it in with a lesson with your business.
yeah,
Okay. One that I recently did, I'm going to try to remember off the top of my head, but I told people that I was an elite swimmer. And
mm,
how it relates with social media is a lot of people think with social media that you can just, be famous on the first time you show up, or you're going to get all of the engagement the first time you show up. And
yeah,
like all of these, like you're going to make $1 million on your first post, and that's why people quit. And I relate that with my swimming career because I'm like, do you really think I could be an elite swimmer just by practicing one time? Do you
yeah,
really think I could be an elite swimmer showing up whenever I felt
mm,
like it? Do you really
mm,
think I could be an elite swimmer, skipping days or, all of these things? And it relates like perfectly with social media because people think that they can just post whenever they want aimlessly without following a strategy and get the results that they're looking for. So I
yeah,
also related to that with swimming. I was like, I needed a strategy, I needed
mm,
goals, and then I needed to work backwards from that in order to know what to do daily. So when you have that connection content, always tie it back to your business. Because if you
mm,
just create a post and you're like, I like chocolate ice cream, and you're trying to sell cars, no one,
yeah,
quite frankly, is going to care, right?
mm,
So that's the second type. So it's educational content, connection content is Me Too, inspirational content is transformation.
mm,
A to B. This works really well with like, this, and I know when I say transformation, people are like, well, I'm not selling weight loss products. I don't have a weight loss story, whatever. But it's also
mm,
mindset, right? So it's maybe you shifted from A to B. How did you get from Pinterest to owning your digital marketing
mm,
agency?
yeah,
How did you go from, 0 followers to 100,000 followers on Pinterest, right? You
yeah,
share that story and the trials and tribulations that came across with it. I know we had that question earlier in this live stream, but
mm,
remember with transformation, People don't want the picture perfect rainbows and butterflies story. They want to hear the other side of the story as well. Now, another thing too is it doesn't have to be taken to the extremes. It doesn't have to be, you know, your happiest story or like the worst story of your life. You can share that if you're vulnerable enough to, but just know it doesn't have to be this drastic thing. People just want to know that you have flaws because that's how people relate to you.
Yeah.
So transformation is all about, you know, there's this thing that I learned from Russell Brunson, and it's the hero's two journeys. So it's like it's the mental journey, but also the physical one where it's tangible and intangible, but also you want to share the stories that people can relate to. So education, connection, transformation, and the last type of content is sales content, which is everyone's favorite content that they run right towards, even though it should only like equate to 25% of your content. And with sales content, yes, you can outwardly sell. Yes, you can be like, buy my product, whatever. But what you're really doing with sales content is you're kind of like adding value with the education. And then you're just, you know, with a call to action saying, I have the perfect product that can help you, you know, click here to buy this product, click this website to, you know, access that, blah, blah, blah. You guys get my drift. So those are the 4 types of content that should be highlighted on your social media channels. It doesn't matter what your niche is. People want to know about your business, how it can help solve their problem, but also they want to know about you. So that's another thing that I see businesses and entrepreneurs struggle with a lot is they always want to get to like, you know, this is my perfect life, you know, Rolls Royce throwing hundreds in the air. Like, this is me. And it's like, that's not you. Okay. And people know that now. So share the realness of you, and that's how you're going to attract the people that are that you are meant to serve, which is the best part about business is when you start showing up 100% authentically you, and people are attracted to that, you don't have to try.
Yeah.
And that's the best part.
And that's quite powerful actually. So another question is, do all social media platforms total organic reach? How do you deal with such algorithms, or is there no way to optimize organic reach?
So yes, they do throttle organic reach, and that's because platforms mature. And we have to remember that social media is a business. Facebook is a business. Instagram's a business. LinkedIn's a business. TikTok's a business. They're all businesses, okay? So when social media platforms first start out, they, you know, they're testing everything. They're testing the waters. They're like, what is our algorithm? We don't even know ourselves, right? That's why why people always want to be the first on a platform, because it's the easiest to grow. But when the platform matures with the technology, they start hiring people because they make more money. They're going to throttle your organic reach for the sheer fact that what's now taking your space is paid advertisement. So this goes back to what I was saying before with Instagram and Facebook. Is that your reach is very throttled because Instagram and Facebook have been around for 10 plus years, actually 15, probably 15 plus years, because I got it in 2005. And so back in 2005, 6, 7, and 8, that was like before people even used it for business. That was the time for growth, right? Yeah. But now you have to pay to play because that's how the algorithm is. So what can you do about that? You pay for advertising. That's really the only thing that you can do to optimize your organic reach, which really isn't organic anymore. Another way that you can optimize organic reach is you can do giveaways. You can do, you know, if you can give away something that's like of extreme value. And another thing that I see on Instagram and Facebook, if you're looking to grow through those platforms organically, is team up with people that have similar or a higher following than you. So you guys that are within your niche, so you can give away a product. And then when you do the giveaway, it has to be something that people actually want. Like you can't give away a $10, you know, coffee gift card, Starbucks gift card, right? Yeah. It's going to have to be something of value. So like $1,000, $2,000, and have it related to your niche. So if I was hosting a giveaway, I could team up with 6 other people and be like, hey, let's give away a MacBook Air, iPod or AirPods. We could give away like 5 business books that we all love, right? And it sounds like a lot of money, but when you team up with 5, 10, 15, 20 people and they all pitch in, you know, $50, $100, it's really like nothing out of your pocket, but you're getting not only their audience that's also in your niche, you're getting people that want to win the giveaway. So they're interested in what you have to offer, right? And they're probably also entrepreneurs, because if they see, you know, you tell people to tag 2 friends, share it to your Instagram story, you tell people what to do in order for them to be entered into the giveaway. And when you do this, that's another great way to, you know, expand your organic reach without having to pay for advertising. So yes, essentially you are paying for something, but it's different than paid advertising. So all social media platforms do throttle in organic reach. But what do you do about that? You diversify. Okay. I am on LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, probably forgetting one, right? And if I'm not on that platform, if I'm not on TikTok yet, I'm not on TikTok yet, but I'm on like hundreds of guest podcasts. I've done hundreds of guest blogs. So if I'm not on that platform, I'm optimizing it in some way, shape, or form. So the reason why you want to diversify is because you actively always want to be telling people to follow you on different social media channels, because of like what you just said. If you're trying to be the superstar, like, because I was a superstar on Pinterest, it would have been like, I'm going to call myself stupid. It would have been stupid of me to just, you know, keep staying on Pinterest and never go on LinkedIn. If I never was on LinkedIn, you never would have found me for this interview, right? Yeah. If I never created my Forbes top rated social media marketing Facebook group that helps entrepreneurs with social media marketing. If I didn't create a YouTube channel that generates leads organically for me on autopilot, because YouTube is a search engine. If I don't diversify, I'm, like I said, I've been saying this a lot, I'll shoot myself in the foot, because we need to prepare that all of these platforms will throttle in organic reach. So instead of playing on the defense and pretending like it's never going to happen, we'll be like, okay, how can I leverage where I'm at to go to another platform, right? So it's taking away that emotional attachment and being prepared for it, and just being like, okay, I'm doing great on LinkedIn right now, but I'm not going to, you know, fall in love with my vanity metrics and pretend like this is going to last forever, right? I'm going to leverage that to create relationships. So when I need to go over to another platform, my audience will love me enough to follow me to the other platform. So that's the difference between growing followers and a following, which goes back to the automation and why I'm so against it, because you can't create relationships through automation. And, you know, people would probably say, well, you're wrong, I have an automated email sequence. And it's like, cool. Awesome. And that's really all that I have to say about that. So yes, you can do it to an extent, but if people can't get in touch with you, they're going to feel that internally. So
So how is it possible to manage all of these different platforms simultaneously?
So I repurpose my content. I am the biggest believer in not reinventing the wheel. So for example, this is how I repurpose my content. This is going to be like a puzzle. But when I say it takes me less than an hour in a day to do, I'm not, like, the only time it would take more is as if I am doing a live stream like this, and it takes me, you know, 30 minutes to an hour to teach. But this is content for me. I'm going to share this around. So we'll start with this video. Okay. I do live streams all the time. I teach people social media marketing in my Facebook group, the Vibe Tribe. So what I do is I go on live streams, because I love live streams, because I never have to edit the video. People love seeing me live. They love interacting with me live. It's the realest you can get. It's no fluff. Ask me the questions. Ask me anything, like this session, right? Ask me, because I'm showcasing my expertise. I'm showing you guys I know what I talk about. Nothing is scripted. I don't know any of these questions until you ask me, right? So with these live streams, what I'll do is, not specifically with this video, but if I did a video similar to this throughout the live stream, I'm going to go back and teach you guys what I taught already. If you're loving this video, give us a like. If you guys are watching on Facebook right now, if you guys love this, give Epiphany a like on Facebook, right? Go, you know, leave me some more questions in the comments. Like, I'm only on for a couple more minutes. So if you want to ask me a question, let me know, right? We're actively telling people what to do. So I'll do that through the live stream. And I'll also say, click subscribe to my YouTube channel if you guys want to stay up to date with my trainings. I'll take the Facebook live stream. I'm not going to redo it again for YouTube. I'm going to take that same live stream and I'm going to go upload it onto YouTube. right? Why would I reinvent the wheel when I already did it? So another thing that I do is I take screen recordings on my phone. So my phone's right here. And there's a feature where you can screen record. It's actually right here. I'll press the button. Yeah. So when I screen record or screenshot, I can share that over to Instagram. I love doing that on my Instagram stories. Now that I have swipe up, if you don't have swipe up, use the link in bio. Tell people to click the link in your bio. So I can share that onto Instagram story. I can take my YouTube video, share it all across, right? I'm going to share it again in my Facebook group because this is another thing about social media. Just because you posted it doesn't mean they saw it. So you need to be repetitive with your posting. People don't see what you said till the 12th time, I think is something like that, which is absolutely crazy. So remember, just because you posted it doesn't mean they saw it. So what does that mean? Share it again. Okay. So I share it to my Facebook business page, this YouTube video. I share it to my Facebook group again, even though I did the live stream on there. I share it to my Facebook group. I share it on my LinkedIn. I share it on my Instagram. I create a Pinterest pin and I create the link under the image to my YouTube video. And that's it, right? For one video. I just repurpose it. Oh, and I also tweet it too. And I can do that through the social sharing icons embedded into the platform. So it's funny because yes, I'm on probably 8+ platforms, but the way that I repurpose my content, and another thing too, this is a little ninja trick that I kind of figured out 6 months ago, is that you can transcribe for free the video from YouTube into text. YouTube does it for you for free. So what does that mean? That means you have blog posts and you have posts all created for you. So if I took this video and I transcribed it, what's transcription? That means when you take the voice and they put it into text for you. Okay. So when I do that, I have content. I can break this up into every single question you ask me, create it as every single post, and it's all relevant content because you just asked me. So even if I span it out in a week, there's my content. So I don't need any marketing automation because I already can create the content by showing up and asking. The value answers a question. What have I been doing for the last hour? I've been answering questions. So that's the easiest way. And I want you guys to know that just because you posted it on Instagram doesn't mean the same people that follow you on Instagram follow you on Facebook. And if they do, they're not even going to notice that you posted the same thing, because that used to hang me up too. I used to be like, well, I already posted this, so everyone and their mom saw the link. That's what I I would tell myself that. And I would be like, I don't need to post it again. I don't want to be annoying, right? Yeah. They didn't. I've been posting for the last, I guess, 7-8 months that I've been on my radio show, that I posted every single Tuesday that I'm live on the radio at this time. I have people asking me to this day, you're on a radio show? And I'm like, I've been posting it. Yeah. So people don't even see it, which is kind of funny if you think about it, and like also kind of annoying, because you're like, I thought I was being annoying, but I guess I'm not. Don't be afraid to be repetitive and also repurpose your content, because that's going to save you so much time. And if you answer one question, share it across all of your platforms and also reformat it to fit the platform. Like I always say start with a video or audio and then work down. Don't start from one sentence and then try to like build up to the video, right? Start from the longest form piece of content and then trickle it. It's kind of like I don't even know what you would call that, but just spread it out.
Awesome. Thank you. So we're going to take a last question.
Okay.
So is the medium still the message? Every social media platform works differently. The environment is different. Is content the only strategy, or do we need to study each platform separately and develop a different set of content for each?
So this just relates back to what I just talked about. So is every platform works differently, but your brand stays the same. You're not going to have a different business based upon the platform you're on, right? So what that means is that because each platform works differently, you're going to have to understand how to take advantage of each platform. Like, for example, on YouTube, you're going to need to know keyword strategy. You're going to need to know SEO. Whereas on LinkedIn, if you're just posting, the only thing you really need to know is hashtags per post. And that's the difference in the strategy. but your content is going to be repurposed. Do not overthink content, because content, I said this in one of my posts on LinkedIn and in my Facebook group, content is like temporary tattoos. Okay. Especially on time sensitive platforms. So what does that mean? That means you stick on the temporary tattoo, like on your cheek right here.
and it lasts for a week.
Exactly. It lasts for a week. And then what happens? You know, you swim in the ocean, you play tackle football, and it's gone.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the best thing about posting on social media, is what I had said earlier in this live stream, is that attention wins on social media. Attention wins online, meaning this: you need to be posting every single day. You need to be posting and staying consistent and networking and supporting people in your network every single day. Now, that shouldn't be overwhelming for you at all if you only answer one question a day. So what does that do for your business? That means you're going to be seen as an expert in your industry because you are providing value to other people, and they want your value. They want it for free. They need to see you're an expert, or they're always going to remain skeptical about what you do. And the people with the highest engagement are always going to beat you out if you don't start becoming consistent, because they're consistent, right? So is content the only strategy? I want to say yes, but you also need to be familiar with how the platforms work, right? Because it's like I said before, content is only 20% of the equation. And the bigger majority, where you're going to see the most impact in your business, is the networking, is replying to every comment on your post, is, you know, if someone asks you a question in the DM, you go and respond to it. If they ask you an email, you respond, right? Because if we just rely on automation and we just rely on setting up our content into, you know, the checks off of our social media to-do list, we're never going to see an ROI, because one, we don't have our goal set. We don't have a strategy to attain those goals. And that is the bigger issue than content. So a lot of people look at their content and they're like, I'm not getting likes, I'm not getting views, I'm not getting comments. What am I doing wrong? And it's like, you're really not doing anything wrong. You don't have a strategy and you don't have a goal. That's why you're not getting the results that you want. So that can easily be fixed by focusing, what is my goal? Am I using social media for lead generation? Am I using social media to sell my course? Am I using social media to grow my brand legacy? And you can have multiple goals as well. Start with a goal, create a strategy, and then you can, with the 4 types of content that I talked about in the beginning of this live stream, you can set up a daily action plan, then repurpose your content across all of social media platforms, because you don't need to reinvent the wheel. And that's how you can do social media in, I say, an hour a day, because I'm on 8 platforms, but it's literally brainless for me now that I can personally do it in about 30 to 45 minutes a day, but I know beginners are going to need more time. And I don't say that to brag. I say that to inspire other people, because I know people will be like, well, Kylie's on 8 platforms. You know, she probably spends 8 hours a day on social media. I spend more time networking on social media than I actually do creating my own content. But that's because I care about the people that need my help. So it's less about us and it's more about them.
Yeah. So just before we sign off, do you have any resources that you'd like to suggest on how to understand social media platforms better?
Yeah. So I have a YouTube channel, and it's youtube.com/C/Kylie Francis. I have no fluff trainings there. You can go there. They're all broken down on LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook. And when I say no fluff, like, you'll see ones that are 50 minutes long, but I'm telling you, if it's 50 minutes, it's 50 minutes for a reason. It's not, I'm not that YouTuber that's like, wait until the end to hear the answer. It's like, no, I'm telling you the answer within the first 5 seconds of the video, but then I explain it after. So that is one. The second one, if you guys are book people, I highly recommend Russell Brunson's .com Secrets and Expert Secrets. So that will help you get a glimpse on not just how to build your, I guess, brand online, but also how to build your company online. So that was probably the most helpful resource, not for me to grow my social media audience, because I'm very familiar with how to do that, but it helped me understand how to grow my business online. So my YouTube trainings are all about social media marketing. Those
Hmm.
two books, if you're a book person, because I know people like, learning differently, and, you don't want to listen, you need to read a book. Those are two books that I highly recommend, especially for beginners.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us all the way from
Yes,
Florida.
I had so much fun. Thank you so much.
I'm glad, and we still have questions coming, but obviously since we're short of time, but we'll have you on again.
Well, if you guys
leave
the questions in the comments
Mhm.
of this video, and
Yeah.
I will personally go back and I will answer every question on the this is on Facebook, right? Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So yeah, that's
Okay.
perfect. So
Yeah,
under the
I'll answer your guys' questions. So leave the questions below if you guys have questions,
Yeah.
and I will definitely answer them if you couldn't, if I couldn't answer them live, I guess.
Great. Thank you so much once again.
Yep. I love this. Thank you.
And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
So that was Kylie Francis with us today. And I want you guys to tune in next month. We are planning a lot of engaging content for the month of June. And keep watching all of our Ask Me Anything videos, our Epiphany talks, and hoping to see you guys next time. Allah Hafiz.